Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're doing well. I'm doing well and all is well. So I have been very disturbed by the amount of bills in Parliament on agriculture, but that's a story for another day. If you don't know, in Kenya right now we have about 10 agricultural bills that are supposed to affect the farmer. In which ways we will talk about it. So today I'm here on a totally different topic. When I did the video on what is organic farming, I promised you people that I'll come back and we talk in depth about some of the things I talked about that's included in organic farming. So today I want us to talk about one of the things that I swear by and many organic farmers practice, and that's companion planting. So in organic farming, and every time I tell people that I'm an organic farmer or an organic gardener, the first question is usually, how do you deal with pests? And pest control is a whole other topic. I have actually done about 5 videos of how to control pests in your organic garden. I'm going to try and link as much as I can. But today let's talk about companion planting. Companion planting is one of the simplest ways you can practice as an organic farmer, and it has a lot of benefits, not just pest control. So one of the benefits of companion planting is pest control. And how does it work? It works by either deterring the pest or attracting beneficial pests or attracting beneficial insects which actually eat on the destructive insects. An example that I'll give off of my head is when you plant cabbage and you plant dill on fennel, they attract a certain wasp that eats the cabbage worms and so helps control the population in the cabbage worms. So that's just one example of companion planting. But before we get there, what exactly is companion planting? So many people confuse companion planting and interplanting, and those are two different things. Companion planting is where you specifically plant crops that benefit each other. So these are a benefit you're looking for from one plant, and then you plant it alongside the other plant. While interplanting is just you put any crop just next to each other, so you're not just planting one crop. That's interplanting. But companion planting is selective planting of crops side to side so that they benefit each other. So as I've already said, one benefit is pest control, and I've explained how that works. Benefit number 2 is soil fertility, general soil fertility and soil protection, or can we say general soil health. So when you look at our soil, I've already said that in organic farming and in organic gardening, soil is supreme. The health of your soil determines how well your crops will do, how well your crops will fight diseases, how well your crops will produce. Even the health of your product is actually determined by your soil health. So companion planting comes highly recommended when we are trying to fix the health of our soil. A simple example is the Three Sisters, which is another very famous way of companion planting, and that is corn, beans, and squash. Remember, corn is an heavy feeder. It feeds on nitrogen very heavily, and that's why when you look back in our country, I live in Kenya, when you look in the places where we plant a lot of corn, over the years the number of bags that we harvest per acre has decreased because corn has really depleted those soils of their nutrients. So what we do, we're supposed to plant corn alongside, or maize, what we call it in Kenya, alongside beans. This is because beans fix nitrogen in the soil to help the maize feed on that nitrogen and so not deplete completely the soil once we are done. Number 2 on soil health is planting crop covers, especially if you're planting maize or you're planting plants that takes long in the garden or the farm. You need to have your soil covered to protect it from the soil elements, from the climatic elements like the sun, strong sun, wash off of the topsoil. So you look for a crop that covers the soil, and there are so many. Sweet potato is one of them. Squash, like I already said, when it's spread around the soil, it covers the soil. So it protects the soil from being washed off when it rains, or experiencing harsh sun, which actually depletes some of the nutrients. So you can see already the three sisters work together to protect your soil, and so maintains your soil health. The other one is the other benefit of companion planting is increased yield. It's as simple as I've already said. So if your soil is healthy, if you've deterred pests, actually the result will just be increased yields. So when you companion plant, let me give another example of tomatoes, basil, and marigolds. This is something that I largely practice. You will never ever find a garden where I'm growing and I do not have marigolds. Why? Because marigolds deter some nematodes which destroy the roots of the tomatoes. It's also believed that when you plant basil alongside tomatoes, the taste increases. So remember, if we deter the disease in the roots, that's the nematode, the crop gets to absorb nutrients from the soil better, and so it's able to process better tomatoes, and then the basil adds to the taste of tomatoes. That's not scientifically proved, but the one for nematode is scientifically proved. And then you really would like to read the papers and the research that I was referring to in this video, you can actually comment so that I tag the research. I've always tagged my sources of information, but I want to know how many people actually read. So if you really read or are interested in reading my sources, you can always comment, and then I will put the resource in the reply of those comments. So as we go ahead, I've already seen the three major benefits of companion planting. The other one is attracting beneficial insects, which if you are growing food organically, you need pollinators, and that would be bees. So when you companion plant your tomatoes and other flowering plants with flowers, like marigolds, like I also do dahlias in my garden. Sometimes I do zinnias, but they don't like me. Those ones attract the bees. Remember, the bees pollinate your plant. Bees are beneficial in so many ways. Then they go create the honey, which we really need. But you know that if we don't have bees, we will not have pollination. If we don't have pollination, then our crops are not going to produce, or they are not going to produce as well as we would love them to produce. So the other benefit of companion planting is that it attracts beneficial insects which come to your garden, and then they pollinate your crops. The other beneficial insects that is attracted by companion planting your flowering crops with yarrow and chamomile, and you can also do feverfew, is ladybug. Ladybugs are so beneficial in an organic garden. Actually, remember when I was starting to be a serious organic gardener, one of my teachers told me the measure of whether you're farming organically is the amount of insects in your garden. And one of the really loved and really adored insects in an organic garden is ladybugs. This is because ladybugs feed on destructive insects such as aphids. So you need to have flowers and plants that attract ladybugs to your garden. I know of yarrow, I know of chamomile, I also know feverfew. But these not only attract beneficial insects. When you plant your yarrow and your chamomile and feverfew just next to your strawberries, they also help deter the destructive insects. So I hope this has helped you a bit to learn about the companion planting, and it can be as scientific as it can get, but I try to break it down to the simplest way so that anyone who is farming, maybe even a kitchen gardener, can be able to at least identify a few crops they can intercrop. So as I wind up this video, I'm going to give you my 4 favorite plants to companion plant. Number 1 is all brassicas together with the onion family. Those ones, the onion family deters the insects that destroy the brassicas. Number 2 is marigolds alongside my tomatoes, because the marigolds deter the nematodes and destroy the roots of the tomatoes, and also marigolds attract beneficial insects. Number 3 is the 3 major sisters, that is corn, beans, and squash. I've already explained how those three coexist. Number 4 is peppers. I do like to companion plant peppers with marigolds and the onion family for obvious benefits that I've already highlighted in my video. I hope you learned something. I endeavor to bring to you short, beneficial, and educative farming videos, organic farming videos, so that even when I show you my garden, you are not wondering what does she do, how does she protect our plants. And I always keep saying I don't use chemical fertilizers and I don't use chemical pesticides in my garden. So these are simple ways you can protect your garden against pests, and also you can attract beneficial pests to your garden. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you've learned 1 or 2 things about companion planting. Always remember, if you have a vision, add some passion. I'll see you in the next one.